And here we are again. Despite all of the help and support and this and that Ukraine as a whole seems to keep getting, we keep seeing these videos come up. And I can't say I'm surprised, but we keep seeing these videos come up of less than favorable treatment for all in this situation. So here I have three tabs here. We're not going to play this third one because, well, you should probably just go watch that entire thing yourself. But we're going to play these two, and we're going to see just what I'm talking about here. Start with the first one.
The platform where a lot of people are trying to get onto the trains, and these are people who are refugees who have come from Ukraine, and just as Ara was mentioning, these are people who are Ukrainians born and bred. These are people who are immigrants to Ukraine. They're students from places like Afghanistan and Cameroon, West Africa, you name it. There are people here from all over the place. It gives you some idea of like how people were living also in Ukraine. There were a lot of students who are trying to figure out what to do and how to get home as they flee Ukraine. But also we are hearing, and we have a firsthand account. Now, the person that Arwa spoke to was hearing that this was happening, so they didn't go see it for themselves. Naya says she experienced it herself. She is a mother who was trying to get on the train. There is a free train, and that's what everyone is trying to get on so they can leave Ukraine. And that free train had tons of people. She was noticing that, you know, the Caucasian Ukrainians were able to get on very quickly, but when it came to her, they literally pushed her back and then pushed another woman, she said, back, and the woman fell back and hit her head. Both of them are black women with children. They were trying to explain that they should be able to get on like everyone else. Here's what else she said. She said, it's bad enough for us, but here's what's happening to black men.
All the black guys, no. There was one inside the train. They went inside the train and showed him gun. Walk out.
They put a gun
Gun
to
on
a
his
black
face.
man's face.
I said, walk out. And he walked out because he was scared of gun.
So you're telling me that there is discrimination by the Ukrainians against
Seriously,
black people?
discrimination on the black people entering the train, the free train. They help their people. They do not want to help blacks.
Now, you will notice that you didn't actually see her face. She did not want her face shown. She was worried that there was going to be some more abuse or that she would be treated more poorly as she's trying to find where she can go. She said she cannot go back to Cameroon, that she's fled there for a reason. She's been in Ukraine with her husband and child for 10 years. Her child has a Ukrainian passport. But she says, you know, look, I have seen this repeatedly over and over again, and it's very disturbing.
Right. So you just heard it yourself. And this is just one of two out of three videos. You heard it from the woman herself. They want to help Ukrainian, but they don't want to help black people. And for all intents and purposes, her child is Ukrainian. You have a Ukrainian passport. Last time I checked, you either had to be a citizen, and if it's a kid, chances are that kid might have even been born there. Don't know for certain. But somehow that kid has a Ukrainian passport, which means that kid is either a citizen, was born there, or was naturalized there. So for all intents and purposes, as far as the law is concerned, that child, though African looking, is in fact Ukrainian. Okay, well, I can't say that I'm surprised. This would probably happen in any other country as well, even here in America. But it's happening in Ukraine, so let's go with Ukraine. See, it's all well and nice when the coast is clear and when there's quote-unquote peace, depending on who you ask. But as you can see, what happens here, and let's just be honest, this is nothing to do with Ukraine. This has to do with black and white. They have no problem helping other white people. This was a woman. What did they say? Women and children first. They didn't say white women and children first. They didn't say disabled women. They said women and children first. Yet what? There's a woman with child, and you heard what was going on with her. Meanwhile, the Ukrainians, which of course her kid is, the white Ukrainians were able to go. Had no problem. See, when there's problems, when there's limited resources, the white people get it first. Oh, we're all also equal. We're all also, oh, they're also nice. And for 10 years she got to stay in Ukraine and this and that, and students got to study and stuff. But when stuff hits fans, hits turbines in this case, all of a sudden, you see how they really feel about you. And I have no doubt in my mind that if this happened in China, it would be in China as well. Something tells me if China invades Taiwan, this same thing would happen there with black people. If China decides to finally get some revenge for Nanking and head over to Japan and start some stuff, this would happen in Japan as well. I have no doubt in my mind about that. None. None at all. So you see how they treat black people. And it's black people. It's not just African people. It's black people. So it doesn't matter where they're from. They might not even have a problem trying with black Americans who are American citizens. They wouldn't dare try it with the white American citizens. Oh no, but they will try it with black American citizens if they were over there. And there might have even been some over there. Huh. Held that man at gunpoint and told him to get off. Now, for anybody who wants to play dumb, it might be like, okay, well, all the men have to stay and fight. No. No. This is not a problem between African Americans or black, well, not African Americans, black people or immigrants or anything. This is the problem between the white Ukrainians and the Russians. The Russians, I guarantee you, could care less about black or Middle Eastern or whoever else is in Ukraine. They care about the white Russians. Okay? They care about the land, of course, and they also care about the white Russians. As far as they're concerned, hey, you all can leave because chances are if we take over this place fully, we're probably going to want you out anyway. So go on ahead and get a head start. You see how they feel about you despite an entire decade of living there. You see how they feel about you truly. And this, dearie, is what white supremacy is. White supremacy has no problem with you taking with you as a black person taking a sub position. You see, it's not white people screaming, "Oh, you nigger this and nigger that," and burning crosses and stuff. No. Those are the low class, dare I say, low quote unquote quality whites that really realize that in the eyes of the more quality, more up there whites, there are some niggas just like the black people that those higher class whites hate. Okay? But they believe just because they're white, yeah. Even though the real whites, the ones with the real money and power and influence and dominance, could care less about those backwoods, trailer park, whatever you want to call them, white trash whites. Right? But it's not those whites, those white supremacist whites. No. See, it's the ones that have the money and the power and all of that. This is how they really feel about you when it's all said and done. Right? They have no problem working next to you, going to school next to you, or at least outwardly they don't have a problem with it. They don't have a problem going to school next to you, but you better not get better grades than them if you're black. If you're Asian, fine, because chances are they can't stop that anyway. If you're East Indian, especially dark skin, kind of cutting it close, but at least you're not quote-unquote black, right? So we'll give you a pass. Make sure you go cure cancer with your medical ass. We'll go to school with you. Make sure you don't get better grades than us. Despite the fact that Caribbean blacks and African blacks tend to get the best grades out of anybody, the only problem is that there are such little of them compared to the rest of the group that, well, it doesn't make much of a difference. They get a pass too. Kinda. Alright? As long as there's not too many of them. They have no problem going to work with you. Just make sure that you don't get a higher position than them, and certainly not more pay than them. Right? That is what real white supremacy is. That is what real white supremacy that actually has money and power and dominance and sphere or spheres plural of influence actually have. And you're seeing it on display here. Two weeks ago, yay, black people, we love y'all. But when it comes time to start preserving the white race and white people, all of a sudden, white women and children get on the trains. Who knows, maybe even white men. Black women and children, much less black men, you keep your ass here and you die. You either fight to save our country and then we can come back and claim it after you're dead, or you stay and die by the Russians. Moving right along.
Incredible number of people who just keep coming in waves. They're coming off the train. The tracks are here. They're coming. This is Przemysl, Poland. We're about 30 minutes or so to the border. The town that everyone knows the name of is Medica. That is the border crossing. And you are seeing just waves of people. And we're talking about people who are Ukrainians. We're also talking about students from places like Nigeria and Cameroon and Nepal. You have a lot of different people who are coming through here. There may be this misconception that you're only seeing people who are, native to Ukraine, but actually there are a lot of people from a lot of different places that are trying to come through here. And what is incredible, they have this whole area set up. I don't know if we can move just a tad. We are using, just so you know, Anderson, a cell phone to do this. It was the only way we could get out live, but there are goods and services in this room and in the room next to it. And this is the train station. This is normally where people come and get their ticket and then they get on a train. Well, it's been turned into a huge area for people to get goods and services. And when you show up from Ukraine, there are two things that you will see as you come through. You'll see this little note.
Pay special attention to this. This is very important, and I just realized something replaying this that I didn't realize the first time I played this, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, but pay special attention to this.
That basically says, basically welcoming Ukrainians to Poland, saying, we're glad you're here. It offers you a place to stay. It offers you food if you want to go further into the country or you need transportation. It offers that as well. You can get that help. And then this is actually a way that you can get a job. You can just call the number here and you can apply for a job. So they have this set up. So as soon as people come in, they're really making an effort to make people feel welcome. Now, obviously, they have gone through trauma, the most extreme kind of trauma. They are worried about, for example, there are, mothers and children here who had to leave their husbands behind. There are children who had to leave their fathers behind. There are families who had to leave elderly folks behind because perhaps they cannot travel. One of the things, though, that we are hearing that has been very heartfelt and very sad is some of the people from Nigeria, particularly black folks. We spoke with a woman from Cameroon, for example, and she said to me, look, the Ukrainian people have been wonderful to us. They have been here 10 years. Her and her husband have been here, and they have a son who is 5 years old. Her name is Naya. She would only give me her first name because she said, we fled Cameroon because there was trouble there. We came here, we were able to go to school, we were able to work in Ukraine. And then this happened. And when it came to trying to leave, she says they were treated very differently. They were pushed off the train, they were shoved, they were treated very poorly. They were left in a train station along with many others for 2 days on a train that usually takes 2 hours. She said she's seen a noticeable difference between the way that black folks are being treated here and the way that Ukrainians are being treated. However, she made very clear and wanted me to make this point that she has, in her time living in Ukraine, been treated wonderfully. She says people are nice, people are helpful, people want her to do well in that country. But she did notice a very big difference when trying to flee with everyone else. Anderson.
Right. Now, the woman that she's talking about right now, don't know why that didn't work. Not him, obviously. Was the woman in this video that you just saw previously. Kind of wish she would have said that herself. Now, this woman here, that whole bit about, oh, she wanted me to make sure to say this, that very well could have been. Maybe she's trying not to piss off white people. But you already didn't show her face, so she could have said that herself. Or if she told you that, you could have spliced that in. I don't think she said that at all. I really don't. I think that she went through hell in Ukraine those 10 years. And the only reason why she put up with it was because she knew she was guaranteed not to have she was essentially guaranteed problems back in Cameroon, whereas here in the Ukraine, it's a 50-50, or I don't know, not even 50-50, but higher than 0% chance. And that's why she took it. That's honestly why what I think is what's going on there. I don't think she went and said all of this stuff. She very well may have. She very well may have. Okay? But if she did, I would have preferred to hear it from her own mouth. Okay? Now then, what I realized in watching this a second time, it just hit me. Let's go back. Where is it? Hold that stuff up. This stuff here. And anybody who is truly intelligent amongst us, or amongst anybody seeing this video, will probably already know what I'm going to get at, when I'm going to spell it out for everyone else. They might have known that this was going to happen. Maybe not. But what did happen? The Africans who, God forbid, may have been outdoing the whites there in those Ukrainian schools and universities and whatever, just like they outdo Americans and even Asians here in America, right? With the Caribbean blacks not too far behind them. More oftentimes than not. They didn't want them getting this. This is no different than, like, say, the Homestead Act. If anybody knows what that is here in the United States, what that led to, the red zoning and all that stuff. This is obviously not the exact same thing, but this is similar. This is white people getting, in this case, white Ukrainians getting the benefits. God forbid the black Ukrainians are just black people, just immigrants, right? Especially the African ones, were of better quality. They perhaps maybe better skills, better in school, better whatever. Excuse me. Let them get back into school here in Poland, and they will become better citizens, have better training, better skills, whatever. Maybe not. Who knows? Not going to find out now. However, this stuff, what is this? Ellis Island all over again. Come, we'll give you land, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you a job, we'll give you all this stuff, and you can get set the hell up. Another thing I realized while I'm just talking right now, they're going to now turn around after this whole thing is done, maybe years, maybe decades down the line, who knows, maybe even centuries, right? And they're going to turn around and say, we earned this. They're going to look at the black people, black Africans, black whoever that's in Poland or wherever else, and say, we earned this. Okay? They're not they, much like whites in America, more oftentimes than not, and probably whites everywhere else. They're not going to sit there and let it be known, hey, the only reason why we aren't on the bottom like you is because of this leg up, this handout that we got. They didn't pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. Oh no, they got help. They got government help. And then they're going to turn around and expect black people to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. You see it happening right here. You see it happening right here. The white women and children are going to get this, and the black women and children get left back in the war zone. And you already heard what she said happened to the black men. They were held at gunpoint and told, get the hell off. It wouldn't surprise me if the Polish government let these white Ukrainians know that this stuff was waiting for them. Make sure you get your white asses over here and keep them niggers at bay. This is white supremacy right here. That's what that is. This is what white supremacy looks like. Okay? All right. Now, I'm not going to play this one, but this right here, let's blow this up a bit. Go on ahead and watch this. And hopefully what happens, considering what I just heard on the news, I actually downloaded the RT app, RT News app. I also downloaded Al Jazeera. They're both on my phone now. Those are the only two news apps I have actually right now. Who knows? I might put Times of India on there too if it's in the Google Play Store. But this video right here, and I'll have a link to these videos, all three of these, right? Hopefully this comes to pass. What these Indian generals said in here, hopefully it comes to pass. Because the U.S. went and just helped out Ukraine by giving them I guess, what is that called? AGM, that's air to ground. Mobile SAM sites, I guess, surface to air missiles. Surface to air missiles, all right. It's not a SAM site battery. It's like just a Stingers, I guess it is. Whatever. Surface to air missiles. Gave them a whole bunch of them. Right? Apparently, Putin is skirting with nukes. Or hinting towards it. Or whatever. Okay? Considering what's going on here, at this point, I'm kind of hoping he uses it. Obviously, I don't care about Ukraine. I didn't care before this happened. I certainly don't care now, considering how they're treating black people. And I don't care if they're African, African-American, Euro, black, whatever. Simple fact of the matter is, if I was over there for whatever reason, they would have been treating me the same way. So fuck them. Fuck them. I certainly hope Putin... Now, let's be honest. Putin wants the land intact. Okay? It's the Russian military. They could have just they could have bulldozed and steamrolled them if they wanted. They want the place intact. But if it becomes too much of a effing nuisance, well, you know what? It's a lot easier to hit this nuisance than it is to try and hit America itself. Or hell, even the rest of Europe itself. So, you know what? Bring these nukes in and let's see who's who and what's what. feel free to watch this video. And at this point, I am seriously, truth be told, considering the first video that I brought up, the first time I brought the video just before this one with that whole Azov battalion and all that stuff, when I was making that video, I didn't see anyone talking about this topic right here. What, a day later, day or two or so later? 3 at the max, and now these stories are coming up more and more. And I'll tell you this right now, and then I'm going to end this video. Considering that this keeps coming up, and it's specifically happening majority to black people, yeah, there might be some Roma and Middle Eastern, but it's not happening as much as it is to black people, what this lady just talked about, right? And you're not about to tell me it's because there's more black people, black immigrants, why it's happening versus anybody else. No, I'm not playing that game. Considering what's going on, I sincerely hope Putin uses it. Because as far as I'm concerned, white supremacy is white supremacy, whether it speaks English, whether it speaks Russian, Ukrainian, or whatever the hell else. It's white supremacy, and I don't care at this point. Hey, if one white person wants to take out another white person, go ahead. Go right on ahead. So there you have it. And to continue what I was actually saying initially with this final point, considering that this topic, this problem is coming up more and more, and even the mainstream media can't hide it, I am going to be very weary of anyone that I see, be it an organization or an individual person, that's still supporting Ukraine after this. Because you have a problem with what Putin's doing to Ukrainians, but you don't have a problem with what Ukrainians are doing to Africans, to black people, just black people, right? Happen to be African, but black people. I'm going to look real sideways. I'm going to be real suspicious of anyone that supports Ukraine now. Rather than be like, hey, yo, if you want our support, you need to start treating these black people right. But then again, let's be honest. Outside of Africa itself, which other country is going to do that? Because again, like I said, final point. If China were to invade Taiwan, you would see this exact same thing happening. I have no doubt about that. If, I don't know, give me somewhere else. If, for whatever the hell reason, Australia and New Zealand get into it, yeah, you'd see the exact same thing. If India and Pakistan get into it more than they normally do, you'd probably see the same thing. And it kind of kills me with that one, because just once you get past all the skin bleaching foolishness, a lot of those East Indians are a lot darker than even some of these Africans, right? It's just darker with straight hair. That's it. So for them to sit there and have a problem with black people when some of them are more black than black people, that effing kills me. Moving right along. Your thoughts, oh passerby to my humble channel here on the outskirts, the island on the outskirts of YouTube world. Your thoughts. Later.